Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Mr. Hopkinson, and I am a TV production teacher at a high school. And this project is our third project. We are going to learn about how to key out the green in the green screen or the chroma key by using the Ultra Key tool in Premiere Pro. Also, we're going to learn how to crop something in Premiere Pro, how to apply a picture-in-picture with a beveled edge. We're also going to learn how to do keyframes, how to layer our videos, also how to trim the videos, how to import. Okay, so now let's open up Premiere Pro, and I will show you how to do all these things that I was mentioning before. And like I said, there's a lot of things you can do with Premiere Pro, and if you know how to do these things, maybe this is a different way you can do them. So there's always a way to learn new things. So this one is going to be called Shark Tank. It's a spoof on Shark Tank. So we're going to make a new project. So let's do new project. We're going to call it Shark Tank Spoof Commercial. Now, where you want to say this is one of the most important parts that people fail to do, and then they can't find their project. So when you have this right here, you want to browse to the folder that you save all your videos. Generally, you're going to put them onto your external hard drive, or maybe you have a secondary drive. You really don't want to put it on your main drive, just because it's better to have it on a separate drive. So I have mine on my iDrive, but there's different letters. You can correlate them with however you would like them to correlate them. Now, for the purposes of my TV production class, I have them put it on the D drive, your name folder, and your project folder, so that way it's organized. So for my examples, I'm just going to put it onto my drive and say, put it on here. Okay, so I'm going to put it on this drive. Say okay, and you know you did it right when you'll look at it right here. So now you say okay. All right, so now you can change your workspace however you want, but let's just assume that you want it as pretty much as basic as it comes with the program when you open it up. There's nothing here, so now you got to import your files. So first you want to right click and do import, or you can go to File, Import. You can also do Control I for import. So I like to do right click in my project panel, and I do import. So now I'm going to select all the files that I need to edit this project. So I provide all the videos for Shark Tank Spoof for my class, and they will use Shark Tank files, so that all the stuff they need will be in the Shark Tank files. So just for that purpose, let's open up Shark Tank files. And here are the selections. We're doing it off of Jimmy Kimmel prank or spoof. So let's select that. Let's select the other one there. The intro, the theme, and we're gonna select the photoshopped version of him. I made a still image of him from Premiere Pro. We're gonna use a photoshopped image. That way we're not seeing myself trying to conflict with him in the background. So you hold down Control and you select each of these, and then you say open. Okay, so this is the stuff that I provided, and now I want to import the video that I did with green screen. So I went out, I shot my green screen. Also, I do want to grab my video of my dog Rambo, and I'm going to make an image out of that. So let's say open. So now I have my files, I have my green screen, and I have my product, which is dog log, which is a product that is basically a camera you strap onto your dog, and it takes video and sends it to your phone every hour. So that way you know what's going on at home with your dog. So, all right, well, so next what we're going to do is first we're going to go and we're going to look at the intro, because the first thing we're going to do is the intro. So let's open up the intro. So what we want to do is we want the intro from Jimmy Kimmel. So we want that one. And now we're going to take this and we're going to scroll. So you want to key it up. If you do your left and right arrow, you go frame by frame. So I want this one, I for in, or I can select this thing here. That's actually for marking in. And if you want to mark out, you mark out right here. So now we want to find, I made my endpoint. Now I want to play it. Okay, so now I want just the open. So I'm going to go back with my left key to the last frame. I'm going to mark O for out. And now I want audio and video, so I'm going to just drag it down to my timeline. Okay, so we got it. That's good. Next, we want to do the doors opening. So let's do that. It's in this. Let's see. I think I forgot to grab another. Or oh no, that's it right there. Okay, so we're gonna grab the other part, the part where they go through the doors, and you want to cut onto that too. So I open up the Shark Tank intro, and I want just when they start walking through the door. So let's just go to arrows again, right here. So and you want to grab it right before it does the wipe. So see how it's that wipe? You don't want that. So go backwards, go right about there. Oh, and now this one we want just the video. So you want to grab this spot right here for the video only, and let's drag it over here. All right. So next, what we're gonna do is we are going to grab the audio from the Shark Tank theme song right here. So click on here, go to the very first audio right there, and I'm just gonna save some time and go all the way through. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go not to the very end. We're actually going to go to the point where it's still continuing on, but it doesn't end yet. We can drag the last part towards the end. It's going to save us a little time, I think. But it's all based on preference. But I'm going to do this because I tried to do this project multiple times to show my class. And I feel like this is probably going to be a little bit faster and a little bit better. So now I'm going to grab my audio only, and I'm going to drag it down so it's underneath the intro that we made. So now when we watch it, it should be the Shark Tank open, and then you're going to see the doors open with the audio that we just laid our track down. Okay, so we have our audio laid down and our doors opening. Now what we want to do is we want to apply the green screen video to our timeline and use the Alt key, crop it, and shrink it and bring it down so it looks realistic as best as we possibly can, and use that green screen video and apply it to our photoshopped image so it gives us a wide shot of the sharks. It's not perfect. It's supposed to be funny and corny, so I'm not looking to try to fool anybody, but it's just a fun little project. So let's go into the green screen, and this is where it is. And what we want to do is we're going to find our ins and outs. And I already selected the in and out here, so we're good with that. So I marked my ins and outs. And what I want to do is I want to apply this to my timeline. So let's go audio and video. So let's grab it. Let's drag it here. Now be careful not to overlap or overwrite your project, your audio line. So let's bring it down a little bit and do that. And then let's put it together like this. Okay, so when we play it, all right, so we have two issues. One, this is all blown up. It's all zoomed in. You don't want that. The other thing is my audio is way too low and the background music is way too high. So first, what you want to do is, if you get it here, if it's too close, or you get it in the very beginning, if it says you want to change settings, say keep existing settings, and you just right-click the image and do scale of frame, so it's all on an equal resolution. So let's do let's right-click here and let's do scale to frame. Now it's back to normal. So now it looks the same on both sides, and that's what you want. So we fixed that problem with the video. Now we want to fix the problem with the audio. So if you double click, now we know this is our audio from our background music. So what we're going to do is we want to actually add 2 keyframes and fade it out or fade it down low enough that way it's underneath me talking. So let's double click here, and right here in the middle is where you want to apply your keyframes. So if you hold down the control button on your PC, I'm going to hold it down, and then what I'm going to do is I want it to start right before I talk to fade. So let's have the control button key, I should say, held down. I'm going to click it here. Notice how there's a little dot that shows up. That's called a keyframe. And what that does is it allows you to control how loud, how quiet, or that you want to do, how you want it on the timeline. So let's add another one because you want to actually apply it and fade it. So now we added 2. I let go of the control key. Now I can take this little circle there and drag it down. So let's bring it up, because you don't want to have it just above. If you notice how it says 0 decibels, 0 dB, that means there's no audio. You want to go just above that. And it takes a little getting used to, but you want to go just enough. So let's see if we can do it here. Let's see if I get 35 decibels. Negative 35 is good. So let's play it now and let's see how it sounds. It's pretty good. I like it. It's low. It could be a little bit higher, but I'm okay with, as long as I can hear it, I think I'm okay with that. So again, we didn't go to the very end of the clip with the audio because we're going to have to copy and paste this to make it down, so it makes sure it fits the whole 1:05 to 1:10 time frame. So it just saves us time from trimming each one multiple times. So we'll go over that a little bit later. All right, so now when we're good with this, let's double click in this panel here to close it. And there you go. So we got that. So now let's do green screen now. So what we need to do is we want to eliminate the green so that way it's basically transparent and I can show up in the picture. So what we want to do is go into your effects panel right here. And the search bar right here is amazing, so it's going to be your best friend. So what you want to do is you want to call it Ultra Key. And it will come up. So right here is your Ultra Key. So select it and find the green screen video, and that's right here. Drag it, drop it. And you might think, wait a second, it's not doing anything. What's going on? I don't understand why it's not working. Well, with Premiere Pro, you have to go to your effects controls. And it's right here. So if I go in here and I actually say, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to delete Alt key. Now watch when I apply the Alt key. Watch what happens up here. It's going to show up. So I'm going to apply the Alt key. And it shows up right there. So that's awesome. So now we can actually work with Alt key. And this is where you actually make the changes with the green screen. And it's called Alt key. So we have the effect. Now we want to change it. So the first thing you want to do is click this little dropper. And you want to go to your green screen and just click here. And now you see how it's black. That's a good sign. However, I only am working with 2 lights. Normally you want to have at least 3, typically 4 or more. So I have some shadows here, which we can easily fix this problem. Also, a little tip too, when you're doing green screen, don't wear green, obviously. Try to stay away from blue. Also, you don't want to have any shadows on your green screen. And also, make sure that the green screen is properly lit as best as you can. That way, it just saves you time in the editing process. And also, you don't want to stand too close to the green screen, because if you do, you're going to get a thing they call spill, and it's going to go on your shirt, and it's going to cause you problems with maybe erasing some of your shoulder, or, maybe even worse. So for now, those are just a few little short and easy tips I can give you, so that way it helps you from future problems with editing. So we applied our Alt key. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our output, and you want to select alpha channel. So what that does is it makes me white, and then the green screen is black. But now notice how you can really see where the hot spots are and where it wasn't evenly lit. So it's not terrible. It's a very simple fix. It's not really that bad, but it could be better. So let's fix this. So let's go down here, and what you want is this to be all completely black, and you want this to yourself or your talent to be completely white. So now let's go into matte generation. Let's go into shadow, hit the down arrow, and then you want to take it and bring it to the left. And notice when I bring it to the left, notice how this is getting darker, and you want it to be completely black. So you just kind of keep going until you see it. All right, well, I went all the way to 0, and it's completely black. So that's awesome. It's perfect. So one little thing done. If you still have issues and you still see hotspots, you can go into these different arrows and mess with it. Some do more than others, but I noticed that the shadow is the best option to just do like a one-stop shop type thing. So shadow is pretty good. All right, so we got the shadow. Let's do this arrow again here. Now what we're going to do is let's just add the crop so we can crop it. When you're shooting your green screen, you want to do it full head to toe, or however you want to do your green screen. But for this project, I would prefer to do head to toe. So when you're doing your project, especially in my class, you want to shoot it head to toe. That way it looks more realistic. Didn't have the option, so my legs are kind of chopped off, which, it's fine for the purpose of showing this example is fine. So right now we're going to go into our effects panel, and we're going to type in crop, C-R-O-P. And like I said, the search panel here is awesome. You just type it in and it automatically finds it. You don't have to go searching for all it. It just saves a lot of time. So I'm going to crop. And again, I'm going to apply it to my green screen. And there it is. So let's bring it down. And now what we want to do is we want to crop it. So we're going to crop it to the left, to the right. And top and bottom are pretty good, so we don't have to worry about that. So let's go to the left. Let's crop this. And you got to be careful. You want to crop it just enough. If you go too far, you're cropping yourself out. You don't want to do that. So you want to go just enough where you're cropping it out, and you're allowing yourself for your arm to move out. If you go too close, what's going to happen is if my arm is flailing this way or it's going the other way or whatever, and I'm being really expressive, that's going to be a problem, especially if you don't leave yourself enough space. So by doing it as close as possible, but not too close, you allow yourself some space. It gives you some wiggle room if you are a person that moves around a little bit. So I'm going to do that side. Now let's do the right side. And let's get rid of that little white there. Okay, so now when you look at it, the whole background's black. I'm white. Perfect. So now when we know that's okay, now you want to go back into your output, and let's go back to composite. Now I am done with the green screen. That's good. It's all set. If you want to tweak it with lighting and you want to mess up a little bit, you can still tweak it and all that stuff, but I think it looks pretty good. So now what you want to do is you want to have the image or video that you want to superimpose yourself over. So what you want to do is let's bring this up to video 2, and what you want to do is apply this right here. This is the photoshopped image. Originally we had Jimmy Kimmel right here, and we had his product right here. So we photoshopped this out so that way it's a little bit easier. It's not the perfect Photoshop, but like I said, it's just for the purpose of this project. It doesn't really matter. It does the job. Okay, so we're going to take this image and we're going to drag it down here, and look what happens automatically because we did our green screen. We pop it here, it's there. Now, see how there's a white cursor? You want to take it to the very edge of this and wait for it to turn red like that. So right here, turns red. Little arrow. You want to drag it all the way over here. Okay, so now what we want to do is you don't want to be in front of them. You want it to be in back so it looks like you're talking to them, even though it's a still image. So what you want to do is click on your clip that you want to make it smaller. Double click in here, and there's these little boxes. When you click on the box and you drag it, what happens is it actually shrinks it down so it looks more realistic. So let's do that. There we go. And then when you click here, you can move it to where you want. Okay, so now you see me there. Now again, my legs are chopped off. Thankfully, there's this here to maybe kind of disguise it a little bit, but it's still not what what I would like to have. So okay, so we got me talking. Let's just go back and let's watch it for a second. Okay, perfect. So for this purpose, it's awesome. So now what we want to do is we want to crop the lower third that says $100,000 for 5% of the company. Now what you want to do is make sure, especially for my class, for other purposes it's fine, but for my class, make sure you apply the $100,000 in 5%. Make sure you mention that in your script, because we don't have other lower thirds to use. I believe there's another one too in here. So I guess if you want to use the other one, if it matches it, it's fine. But make sure that it matches the lower third. Don't just use some random thing because it has to match. If it doesn't match, it doesn't count. It will count, but you'll get points off because it's attention to detail. So, all right. So let's see here. Let's go to back to our Jimmy Kimmel. And what we're going to do is we're going to find, let's see if we can find it. Okay, that's not it. It's a different one. It's this one. Okay, there's two Jimmy Kimmels. All right, so here's the other one. We want the 10%. Let's see if we can find it. Or sorry, the 5% one. All right, so here we go. Now here's the thing. We can't have that shark graphic thing. We don't have that option, and we really don't have the time to make that right now. So right there, that little shark at the very end, we can't make that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our own. So I'm gonna go to the very end of that, and now I'm gonna mark my in. Okay, let's go back a little bit. what we're going to do is we're going to drag it. All right, so I say I'm seeking. Now I'm going to take it, put it above here. Ooh, and you know what? I made a mistake. And here's why. I did this on purpose. If you drag in the audio and video, it's a problem. You don't want to hear Jimmy Kimmel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete it. Let's just mark it up here. I'm going to delete this. You want to grab the video only. So let's grab the video only. And now you want to hear your voice, but you don't want to hear the other person's voice. You want to hear yours because you're doing the pitch. So you're like, oh man, the video's over. I can't even see myself anymore. Well, that's okay. You're going to crop it. So you're going to go back into the effects. Crop may or may not be open. If it is, then you just drag it over like mine is. If not, just type it in, crop. Go in here, drag it onto the video 3. Go over here, and we're going to press play. Okay, so we got that. So again, crop didn't work because you have to actually go to your effect controls. So let's go down here, and this time we're going to crop it from the top, from the bottom, and from the right. So let's just do that really quickly. That way, it's kind of tedious. You guys kind of got how to crop, so let's just do it. And notice how it's looking pretty clean actually. So let's do it from the bottom. Okay, so it's as simple as that. I cropped it out, boom, done. Now we have our lower third. Now ideally you want to make it yourself, but for the purposes of education and learning how to do this stuff, it's a completely different thing. So and we're not making any financial gain off this at all, so we're just showing this as an example. So all right, so we did this. Now what you want to do is you want to add an effect. So what you want to do is you want to add a wipe. So if you type in wipe, W-I-P-E, and scroll down where it says video transitions, and I like the gradient wipe. I think it's really cool. It almost looks similar to the Shark Tank one. So let's do it, and you're gonna see it's gonna go to the very beginning of it. You're gonna go there. It's gonna say what the softness is. I just say okay. It's not looking for anything specific. So now when you do it, you're gonna see it wipe in. It's awesome. We just did a crop to this, and now we have our own lower third. Now it can go in and out. It's perfect. It's great. So we have our lower third. We cropped it. We added our effect. We added our keyframes. We did our green screen. We did our intro. Added audio only, video only. Now there's a couple of things we still have to do. You also have to have some reaction shots. So let me go in here, and I'm going to show you how simple it is just to do a reaction shot. And let me see what I can find here. All right, let's just use him. Let's go back here. Let's use him. All right, let me go back a little bit. All right, so out. Now I only want, again, I just want video only. So let's go to the video only. And let's just put it there. Let's add another one just so we can I can kind of show you how simple this is. You know what? I like, this is kind of cool. You know, I can do this. It looks like she's like all happy. All right, let's drag that one in video only again. Right there. And you want to split them up. You don't want to have them all together. You want to break it up so you have more shots. So let's see here. Let's watch it. I just randomly threw it in there. Let's see how it looks. All right, so we got reaction shots. We got the lower third. We pretty much have a lot of this done now. So what we need to do next is to take a video and make it a still image and apply it here with our picture-in-picture and put a beveled edge on it. So what you want to do is go to your video. Okay, that's a PNG. So let me grab my video, import. Okay, so this is my video. So let's bring up the video. It's my dog, Rambo, Chinese Shar-Pei. I made a dog log. So notice how I wrote dog log right there. There's no copyright, no nothing. You cannot show copyright. It's not your product with a copyright. So make it so it's, you know, a label with your own label or whatever, but make sure it's all your own work. Notice how there's no product of any type whatsoever on this. So I made it myself with a faked one. So let me go back here, and you know what? I almost like it where it is, but let me let's just move it around and see if I can find something here. I think it was already good. So let's do this one. So I'm gonna make a still image. To make a still image, you click on this the camera symbol. So click on the camera symbol. And it's going to say, okay, I need you to name it. So, all right, cool. So let's just call this dog log, just to make it easy. Now we're going to make it a PNG, so it's great, PNG. I like where it is, but you know what? Just for purposes of showing you, let's just put it, let's see. So Shark Tank, I like it in the Shark Tank dog log folder. So let's say select folder. And what you want to do is a lot of times this may not be selected. It's a really good idea to keep it, to actually select it, because what that does is it actually, once you say okay, it's gonna go and it's gonna put the actual image in your project panel, which is awesome. You don't have to go searching for it. It's just, again, it saves you time. So I think everything is great here, and the most important thing is, again, browse it to your folder. So for my students, it's going to be on your D drive, your name folder, project folder, and then you just hit OK, and notice it pops up right here. So that's perfect. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to take this image, I'm going to drag it over here out of the way with everything else. I'm going to put it right here. Now notice again, this is big. You don't want that. Look at the difference. You want to right click it again and scale to frame. What we're going to do now is we're going to shrink it down. So let's double click it here. Hit the little squares. Let's bring it small. And now let's bring it above our line. So now we're on video 4. Like I said, you could do this a variety of different ways. However you like to do it, or you feel comfortable about it, do it however you want. I do it differently all different times with different things. So here it is. So we shrunk it down. Now it's this big. So now we want to keep shrinking it because we want to put it in this this box. So let's bring it down. It's almost pretty good right there. Let me make it a little bigger. Actually, let's make it a lot bigger. Let's do it like that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to crop it again. Crop is, I feel like crop is the word. So let's see, C-R-O-P. All right, so take crop, apply it to this one. Go to your effects controls, and we're gonna. I want to. There's a lot of nose room right there, so let's get rid of that nose room a little bit, so to allow us to put it properly into this TV. So let's clean it up a little bit. Okay, so now I can take this. Let's try to make it as best as we can to fit. Could probably shrink it down a little bit more. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, you know, whatever you can do to make it look somewhat realistic. Okay, so That looks pretty decent. I'm okay with that. So now what you want to do is add the beveled edge. So if you type in bevel, that's bevel edge. So you want to do thin. Click there. And now notice how it actually gets somewhat, you see kind of like a 3D. Let me bring it a little bit bigger for you. Notice how it's got that 3D. It kind of pops out more. It's a little bit better. I think it just looks a little bit cleaner and a little bit better. So the bevel edge is really nice. And that's a requirement in my class to have a bevel edge and to have your product in this little area. So when you're doing the project, make sure that the beveled edge is on there, and also your product that you created and you can't take it offline. You can't take an image or a video off of line. You have to create this yourself. So this is where it has to go. And then, so that's simple as that right there. Next, you just want to keep going and applying your green screen here, and you want to answer the two questions. How much does it cost, and how does it work? Make sure you have those two questions in there. Make sure you mention that it's $100,000 for 5% of the company, or if there's another one in there, feel free to use whatever the lower third says. Make sure whatever you say, it matches what you say. So, I'm not gonna. I guess I can continue on, but this is the whole point of it, of seeing how to do it. What you want to do is you want to continue with it until it's completely finished. So now let me show you the last thing. Next, you want to also make sure that your audio continues on, because it's going to be 105 to 110. So what we want to do is, let's open this up again so I can click this. If you hit Control C as you select the audio, I hit Control C, click over here, hit Control V. Now take your keyframe and let's just make it so it's equal. And now we can butt it against each other. So now let's hear how it sounds. Okay, so it's still, the beginning is a little bit off, so let's do that. Not perfect, but when it's a bed level, it's going to sound pretty decent. So now let's stop it. Let's copy that one. And let's shrink this. If you right click, you do ripple delete, it puts it together. So, all right, so we're going to need, actually, that's good. So we have two right here. So now what we want to do is, remember how we didn't clip the end of it? So now let's just take it and let's just stretch it out, because now it's going to end. So now when we play it, there you go. So it's 105. You got 105 to 110. So perfect. So the next thing you're going to do is just going to go back to your green screen. Find the second part. And after you apply the second part, you're going to put it down here. You're going to do the same thing. Now here's the thing. You want to make sure that your image with your product up here, make sure it stays up the whole time. To do that, you want to make sure your image on your timeline is all the way through. That's very important. If not, it's going to go away. So, for example, if I don't do this, check out what happens when I stop it right here. Look at what happens here, and watch right here. It disappears. It's gone. So we kind of didn't see it right away because it stopped right as we cut to this video. So it kind of saved it for a second. But once you go here, it's nothing. So make sure this is here the whole time. So again, if we go back to it, okay, let's see here. Actually, let's bring this above, because you don't want this. You want this to be on the bottom layer. And there's going to be some messing around with the timeline. So if you find yourself, oh man, it's not working out, don't freak out. Just move it around and make it work. Just like everything else with being a journalist, you got to make things work. So There you go. And notice again, I disappeared because it ended, so there's nothing there. The same thing is going to happen with this photoshopped image. So notice how it stops right here. You want to continue it all the way through, and you're good. So like I said, the next thing you want to do is just go back to your green screen, apply it again over here, crop it, and get your 5 reactions, and then also get the question so that the sharks asked you. Feel free to use the other one, Jimmy Kimmel one, which is this one. There's other reactions and all that stuff. I didn't use that, but feel free to use more reaction shots. The more, the better. It's great. 15 shots is required for the total thing, and that includes the actual open. So this is 2 shots here. So it's literally each shot that's changed. So 15 shots, 5 reaction shots, and you need 2 questions. So let me just apply the question real quick, and then we're all done. We're all set. And that's all there is. That's all that was missed. So let's see here. All right, so I think we passed it. Let's see. All right, so here we go. Here's the first one. So it says, Jimmy, what does it cost? So obviously you're going to cut out Jimmy unless your name is Jimmy, which most times to none, it's probably not going to be Jimmy. So you're going to say Jimmy and go back and notice her lips. You want to notice that she says what. So go back to where it says whoa, 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 whoa. So right there. What does it cost? And try to get as much as you can out of her with the end. So if she's pausing for a little bit, keep going with your frames until you see Jimmy, and then go back 1 frame and then say out, because it's going to buy you a couple frames, which in this world is a lot. It spaces things out, makes it look more natural. So let's grab now. We're going to grab audio and video, and let's put it here. Let's actually. Yeah, you know what? I don't like how that's like that. Let's just bring this up. Let's just put these on top of each other. That's how it really should be. Okay, so got that. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now I answer the question, what does it cost? And you continue to go on and on and on with it. And this is where the script comes in play. So make sure you follow the script, continue with the script, and look to the details. That's why scripts and storyboards are so important. It's not busy work. It literally will help you in the editing process and to understand what's going on in your videos. And believe me, it's going to save you time. It doesn't seem like it, especially when you're just starting to do these projects. You want to just get out there, shoot it, have fun. There's always a place and time for everything, and it's always it's going to be fun. But I know scripts aren't the most fun thing to do, but trust me, it's going to save you time. So you kind of get the sense of what this project is now as far as cropping and using the Ultra key and beveled edge and picture-in-picture, using keyframes. This is all important things. We have a pretty good amount of time to do this project, so this is just a little taste of how to do the project and learn these special skills. My name is Mr. Hopkinson, and this is the Shark Tank Spoof commercial. The whole idea of this commercial is basically you're going to pitch your creative idea to the sharks, and you want them to purchase or invest in your company. So the whole thing is you're creating a product and you want the investors to invest in you. And I feel like that's kind of cool, and you're going to have a lot of cool things using the green screen. It's a really fun project, and it looks pretty good. I mean, considering what we have here, it's really a cool project, I find. So if you like this video, feel free to push thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to have more videos on this, and this is my very first video on YouTube, so I'm trying to get a channel together to help my class. So if they're out, sick, or they need more help on understanding this, maybe I went a little too fast, or they forgot something, they can go back to this and watch this.